ZNS Total Sports is brought to you by 4th Terrace Diagnostic Center.
Welcome to sports, everybody. The New Providence Softball Association is underway with its 2019 season. Action on the diamond tonight, and that's where we find our Kelsey Johnson.
Good evening, Jonathan. Good evening, Bahamas. I'm here at the Bankers Field where the New Providence Softball Association 2019 season swung into action on Saturday, but this is the third game in a loaded season, and I can tell you now that the Brackets, they're up 5 runs to none on the University of the Bahamas Lady Mangoes. This game is in the third inning, the top of the third, and later on tonight we'll have the Chances Mighty Mitts playing the CS Hitmen. But joining me live now is Felice Major. She's the PR and Assistant Secretary in the New Providence Softball Association. She's going to tell us exactly what they have planned for this season and what's to come.
Good evening, everybody. We are so excited for this season. We have lots of ladies teams coming back stronger than ever. So the ladies division will be nice and heated. And of course, we have our men's team, and we're also pulling some of the younger males that play baseball to bring them into the league, either to mix along teams or to bring their own team. And so it's going to be pretty good in the men's team as well to see if the older guys are going to be able to hold the young boys. And of course, New Providence is the capital, and we have to help our Family Island League. So that's what our plan is. We're going to have 2 tournaments, one here and one on the Family Islands, and that's just to build inter-island softball and get softball alive, because softball is not dead regardless of what people are saying.
Now, the season started on Saturday with 2 exciting games. Just talk about Saturday, and the crowd here tonight is a shocker to see a lot of people here tonight.
It is. When I walked in, I was very surprised for a Tuesday night, so this is great. A great way to start. On Saturday, a lot of people thought the Wildcats were going to come out and dominate the first game against the new Lady Truckers, but that wasn't the case. The game went head-to-head and only ended with 1 run ahead, so it was a tight one from start to finish. And then the second game, the men's game, the Mets actually held the Truckers, and that game actually went to the 7th inning as well. So those 2 games were just great for the start of the season because it was back and forth. It kept the crowd here, kept the crowd alive. But yes, today is great. You can hear the crowd, you can see the crowd, so it's great, and we just welcome you all Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Saturdays starting at 7 p.m. It's going to be a great season, and we're bringing family back to the park. Bring your kids, bring your family, bring your friends. Tell a friend, bring a friend. Let's have a good time.
Now, you spoke about the increased number of teams in the ladies division. How many do you have, and what level of play are you expecting from them?
We have 6 ladies teams, and we expect a high level of play because those teams are returning from last year. Some mixes up here and there, but for the most part, the new teams aren't new anymore, and they're coming strong.
All right, thank you so much for joining us live on the broadcast. Jonathan, I can tell you that this is an exciting game. The UB Mingos, this is like their first full team in the league. They have a new coach, Sean Albury, and he is making sure that their girls are playing up to standard. Actually, they just saved a number of runs, even though the Brackets put 5 runs on the board already. So you can still make your way down here at the Bankers Field. There's a lot of game still to go. And then if you miss the ladies' game, you can still catch the Hitmen and the Mighty Mitts later on today. Back to you in the studio, Jonathan.
From the softball diamond, we now head to the baseball diamond. Our minor leaguers in action last night. 2 Bahamians meeting between the lines in Double-A. Anthony Seymour and the Jacksonville Jumbo Shrimps once again getting the best of Lucius Fox and the Montgomery Biscuits 5-1. Seymour 1 for 3, a double, a run scored. Fox was also 1 for 3 in the loss. Now in Single-A, Rashad Monroe, he was 1 for 3 as well. The Dayton Dragons lost to Lake County 3-2. Meantime, in Single-A advanced, Chavez Young 0 for 3, a run scored. The Dunedin Blue Jays got the best of the St. Lucie Mets 5-2. After defying the odds the past couple of weeks, Cheryl Forbes and the Franklin Parish Ravens men's baseball team, they saw their season come to an end in the NCAA Division II Tournament East Regional. Forbes ending his senior season with a bang, 3 for 5, a double, a home run, 2 runs batted in, and 2 runs scored. He finished the season with 7 home runs, 33 runs batted in, and 32 runs scored with a .302 batting average. They are just getting into postseason play on the NCAA Division I baseball diamond. Conference tournaments this week. Cole Dubé, the reigning Atlantic 10 Player of the Week, He will lead the St. Louis Billikens into the A10 tournament that starts tomorrow. They're the number 7 seed and take on 2nd seed Davidson. Aubrey Major and Xavier, they head into the Big East tournament as the 2nd seed and play 3rd seed St. John's on Thursday. As for Tevin Simonet and the Lipscomb Bison, they will play in the Atlantic Sun tournament as the number 3 seed with the first round matchup tomorrow against 4th-seeded Jacksonville. Grad transfer Justin Roberts of Arizona State has been awarded the Southwest Region Arthur Ashe Leadership and Sportsmanship Award by the Intercollegiate Tennis Association. Roberts played a huge leadership role on a relatively young squad, of which he was the only senior on the roster. Roberts now plans to play a slate of professional tournaments over the summer before returning to Tempe in the fall to train and complete the final semester for his master's degree in sports law and business. The 2-week-long Girls Empowerment Hoops Camp tipping off yesterday on the outside courts by the Kent Elastics Gym. The camp is a part of the CSA basketball program. For founder and instructor Marvin Henfield, this new initiative is personal.
I spent 24 years in basketball, and those 24 years were spent primarily dealing with males. God has blessed me with 3 beautiful daughters, and my middle daughter, Maya, as I've said many times before, decided to take a liking to basketball 2 years ago. And so now it's an honor and privilege for me to have an opportunity to not just invest in other people as I've done in the past, but to invest in my own girls. And as I do that, the intent is to elevate the level of play for females on par with that of males, or even to exceed that of males.
Now, in addition to the camp, Henfield is also involved in another project which puts female basketball in the spotlight here in the 242.
NCAA girls basketball tournament here to Nassau through Bahamas Hoop Fest. This week's contracts are being signed, so by next week we should have our contracts back in hand from the universities, the NCAA Division I universities. And so that's a part of the exposure that we want our girls to see themselves on stage, because as I figured out again in this personal plight that I'm in, my daughter Maya has never seen a girls college basketball game in person. She's seen NBA games, she's seen Battle for Atlantis, she's seen every form of men's basketball. And so part of it is to provide an opportunity for them to see themselves on stage. And as we do this, not just the development and exposure, it's also important for us to change the level of play.
The New Providence Basketball Association's annual general meeting on the election of officers set for Saturday, 10 a.m. at the Ministry of Education's training room. Ricardo Smith will be seeking the top post.
Persons contacted me and expressed that they'd like to see me offer for the position, and at the time to think about it, after careful consideration, meditation and prayer, I decided that I would definitely make a go for the presidency. However, once I decided that I would go, I knew then that I needed a very good slate of officers, persons who had the time, who were committed, and who had the skill sets to help me get the job done.
Now, Smith is no stranger to the NPBA, having been in the president's chair before, and he believes he'll be able to do a better job this time around.
Well, before I held this position, I hadn't been exposed to professional basketball in the United States of America. I hadn't been on the ABA circuit. I hadn't had the opportunity to meet people with various difference of opinions and views and all that sort of stuff. Now I think that with the total, with all this exposure and interaction, I believe that you have a kind of a new Ricardo Smith. We're talking about trying to incentivize basketball players to get them to want to get in tip-top shape to compete. When you talk about now $10,000 cash prize for the winners in D1, when you're talking about D1, D2 being able to travel extensively throughout the United States and Canada to expose their talent.
Fitness Federation getting back to normal after the elections a few weeks back. Instructor and coach Nato Dean believes Joel Stubbs is the right man to lead the federation moving forward.
They've been training all along, still in prep.
He's a world icon in the sport of bodybuilding.
He's a respectable person. I think he has a heart for the athletes. You're always going to find every federation, some persons like you, some persons don't. But he's the type of person whereas, he's not really here to make friends. Friends is a bonus. He's here to expand the federation and get it to the next level. And that comes with a certain level of maturity and a certain level of respect for everybody, regardless of who you are, what sport you're into, what you're bringing to the table. I think he has a general interest of wanting the federation to grow and giving everybody an equal opportunity to get there.
Since the elections, there is a clearer time frame now for the dates when local competitions will take place, and so athletes have a better idea of what they need to do.
They've been training all along, still in preparation, but now we can tweak that training program to reach the desired goals in the time factor that we have before us. So we're just making sure that all the elements are taken care of. They've done their conditioning, their flexibility is what it should be. For the persons who are doing the physique, they start working on their routines, their posing, they make sure they have that confidence, that stage presence, and make sure they still maintain that drive, actually, because some people lost their morale and their little, motivation over the last few months. So that's going to be tweaked and motivated and pepped up and ready to go again.
That's a look at sports. The Bahamas Tonight comes back after the break.
ZNS Total Sports is brought to you by 4th Terrace Diagnostic Center.